Welcome back to yet another episode of the xploreUX cast, where we help you make sense of your users or your customers. I'm your host, Obruche. In this episode, we are going to be talking about how do you gather user behavior data. If you're designing a product, running a business, or building a digital experience, understanding how users interact with your platform is essential. You can make assumptions all day long, but unless you have actual data to back up your decisions, you're essentially guessing. So, how do you gather this data? That's exactly what we're going to break down. Before we dive into methods, let's talk about why this matters. User behavior data helps you understand what people are doing, what they find frustrating, and where they drop off. This data is the foundation for improving user experience, increasing engagement, and ultimately driving conversions. Without it, you're left making design or business decisions based on intuition rather than evidence. Now that we understand why it's crucial, let's explore how you can actually collect this data. We'll cover direct and indirect methods, qualitative and quantitative approaches, and tools that can help. Let's start with direct observation, watching users in action. One of the most insightful ways to gather user behavior data is through direct observation. This could be done in person or remotely, depending on your setup. Watching how users interact with your product in real time reveals behaviors they might not even realize they have. Usability testing is a classic example of direct observation. You give users tasks and watch how they complete them, noting where they struggle or where they excel. This method is particularly useful because it highlights issues that might not appear in analytics or survey responses. But there's a limitation here. Direct observation can be time-consuming and often requires a controlled setting. That's where automated tracking tools come in. Love xploreUX cast. Here's how you can make a difference. Be a UX champion. Chat with friends, family, and anyone who wants to learn about UX and usability testing. You can supercharge the show. Subscribe, rate, and review xploreUX cast on wherever you listen to podcasts. This helps others discover the good stuff and lets the platform know we're winning. Let's talk UX. Leave comments on the podcast or social media. Got a burning testing question or a topic you'd love to hear explored? Hit me up. And join the UX crew by signing up for our newsletter on LinkedIn and connect with fellow UX enthusiasts. See links in the description. Now let's talk about tracking user behavior with analytics tools. If you can't sit behind every user and watch their actions, analytics tools are the next best thing. Platforms like Google Analytics, Hotjar, and Mixpanel track user behavior at scale. Google Analytics, for instance, gives you insights into page views, bounce rates, time spent on different sections, and conversion paths. Hotjar takes this a step further by providing heatmaps, showing where users click, scroll, and move their cursors. These tools help you see patterns in behavior rather than isolated incidents. While these quantitative insights tell you what users are doing, they don't always explain why they behave that way. That's where qualitative methods come in. Gathering qualitative insights, understanding the why. Numbers can show you trends, but they don't always reveal user intent. To dig deeper, you need qualitative research methods like user interviews, surveys, and session recordings. User interviews help you get direct feedback by asking users about their experience. Surveys, on the other hand, allow you to reach a larger audience and identify common pain points. Tools like Typeform and Google Forms make it easy to collect structured responses. Session recordings offer another layer of insight. Unlike heat maps, these show real-time interactions, allowing you to see hesitation, repeated clicks, and points of confusion. This method helps validate assumptions made from analytics data. Once you have both quantitative and qualitative data, the next step is to refine your findings. Curious about the latest UX trends? Sign up for our UX newsletter on LinkedIn. See the link in the description section of this episode. Now let's talk about combining data sources for a holistic view. Each method we've discussed has strengths and limitations. Direct observation gives real-time insights but lacks scale. Analytics tools provide large datasets but can't always explain user intent. Surveys and interviews capture user opinions but may not reflect actual behavior. The best approach is to combine multiple data sources. If your analytics show that users abandon a sign-up form, a session recording might reveal that the button is hard to find. If survey responses indicate users struggle with navigation, heat maps can confirm whether they are clicking in unexpected areas. By bringing together different types of data, you get a more complete picture of user behavior, allowing you to make informed improvements. Ethical considerations when gathering data. While collecting user behavior data is valuable, it's equally important to do it responsibly. Users should be aware that their data is being collected and their privacy should always be a priority. This means complying with the regulations like GDPR and ensuring transparency in how data is used. Providing options for users to opt out of tracking or anonymizing data where possible are good practices. A trustworthy approach to data collection not only protects users, but also builds credibility for your business. Once you have all this data, the real question is, how do you use it? It's not enough to just collect information. It needs to translate into actionable insights. Identify patterns in the data and prioritize changes that will have the biggest impact. If a checkout process has a high drop-off rate, simplifying the form might reduce friction. If a heat map shows users rarely scroll to the bottom of a page, moving key information higher up could improve engagement. Data-driven decision-making is a continuous cycle. Gather insights, implement changes, and then test to see if they improve user experience. This ongoing process ensures that your product or service keeps evolving based on actual user needs. Final thoughts. Gathering user behavior data isn't just a one-time effort. It's an ongoing practice that helps refine user experiences and drive better results. From direct observation and usability testing to analytics tools and qualitative research, each method provides a different piece of the puzzle. By combining multiple approaches, keeping ethical considerations in mind, and applying insights effectively, you can make meaningful improvements that benefit both your users and your business. That's it for today's episode. I hope this breakdown gave you a clear roadmap for gathering user behavior data. If you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with your team. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and have a good one.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here.